specs on this rifle, as it comes out of box, it's not like this. Obviously, I'll let you know right now. It comes with a standard A2 bird cage, but I spun that off and put the Ultimate Arms Gear Tri-Delta muzzle brake. It's got a little Molan Abe there. That's pretty cool. And as you go down towards the barrel, it's a 16-inch barrel, 1-9 twist chambered focus, and 5.56 NATO. So for those that don't know, a barrel that is chambered in .223 cannot fire a 5.56 round, because even though they're the same caliber and whatnot, the 5.56 has a lot higher pressures going through it. But if you have a 5.56 chambered barrel, you can shoot both .223 and 5.56. The handguard it comes with is this Smith & Wesson somewhat mil-spec handguard, but with the price of this rifle, you're talking, you can't really expect much better. What I replaced it with was a Magpul MOE. The reason I replaced it is not because of the ergonomics or anything like that. It was just because these don't have a heat shield on there. So anybody that's an experienced AR-15 shooter, they know they get pretty hot pretty fast. So you're going to want a heat shield, and that's the most cost-effective option I could find. It's got a chrome line gas key and a chrome line bolt carrier in it. Receiver is made out of 7075 T6 aluminum. The upper and lower fit, if you look here, no wiggle at all. The trigger guard is oversized, so if you have gloved hands, you're not going to have any problem there. Comes with standard a A2 pistol grip. I don't like the knuckle nub right there. It's just uncomfortable for me, so I put the MOE plus Magpul grip on there, and it has out of box a 6-position standard mil-spec A4 stock. Now obviously, just to be consistent, I put the Magpul MOE stock on there also. Now I'm not saying these are any better or any worse. I mean, they still jiggle a whole lot, just like the regular standard one does. You're not really gaining anything, you're not losing anything, but just to keep the color consistent throughout the rifle, I like it. Okay, the trigger on this rifle is basically your standard mil-spec trigger. It's not the greatest, but it's definitely not the worst. I fired a couple of different M&P Sports, and all of them pretty much felt different. So, I mean, take it for what it's worth, but I'll speak to the trigger on this gun. There's no slop or slack in it. Just when you press on it, it's just a stiff trigger. And the only issue I have with it, it's not a wall, then a break. It's creep, crunch, crunch, break. So there's lots of creep, a lot of grittiness in there. And it's not like this is a new trigger either. It's just, it's not lightening up at all, guys, throughout my shooting of this. But see if you guys can get it. Creep, creep, crunch. Pretty clean break though. Let's see if I can get the reset on this. Pretty close. Not a bad reset. So with some practice, you can really get pretty quick with it. Is it going to be the most conducive way to get the tightest groups off a bench or anything? Probably not. But great thing about the AR-15 system, it's so modular. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this rifle apart, which is a lot more difficult to do behind camera than you would think. You know, lessons learned, right? So let's take this out. Oh yeah, bump it. Okay, let's see if I can get this to where you can actually see it. Let's go ahead and take the lower receiver off completely. Okay, it's got M4 feed ramps in there. See if you can see that at all. Not really, but trust me, it's got M4 feed ramps. Everything in here is pretty much standard. The barrel is not chrome lined. I don't know if that matters to you or not. For me, it doesn't. You got a pretty much standard bolt carrier group here, properly staked, nothing to complain about. I've had probably about 1,500 rounds out of this rifle. You can see that it's in good shape. You've got the teeth here for your non-existent forward assist to grab onto, so you know everything's pretty kosher there. Also, I did want to show you that your mag well does have some funneling in there, so it's going to make your mag changes just that much easier. All right. Now, this gun naked weighs 6.5 pounds, 6.45 pounds to be exact. That is incredible for a battle rifle. You look out through history and you see our military going to war with these 12-pound, 15-pound rifles. So this being 6.5 pounds is a pretty awesome achievement. Now, that's naked, obviously. This is pretty heavy sight. It's really heavier than it needs to be, but for the cost of it, I can't complain. So as it stands here with an empty mag, it weighs 8 pounds. The accuracy out of this rifle is fantastic. I think, you know, accuracy is so subjective. I can tag plates at 100 yards time and time again, as long as I do my part. Any gun, any modern gun nowadays that you pick up is going to be more accurate than you are. So to say that this gun is, you know, a 1-inch MOA at 100 yards, yeah, maybe. But can you shoot 1-inch group at 100 yards? Can you shoot better than that? I guarantee you this rifle can outperform you. Some people will choose to keep this in the standard configuration. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I mentioned before, it's 6.5 pounds in its standard configuration. Now, for me, what I chose to do with this rifle is buy it as a base rifle and just add what I wanted on there and make it the AR-15 that I want incrementally. So, I mean, instead of spending $1,000, $2,000 on your dream rifle, you know, you can just kind of buy a good quality base AR and slowly add the parts that you want. Now, I mean, the great thing about the AR-15 system is just so modular, and it's the most popular rifle in America, possibly the world. Well, maybe not, maybe the AK-47, but anyways, in America, these are the most popular, so I can literally change everything. I mean, I can't add a forward assist unless I change out the upper receiver, but that doesn't matter to me. You can change out the trigger if you don't like it. You can change out anything you want. So I think it's worth noting that Smith & Wesson is bringing you a product at such a great value. Speaking of value, this one cost me $660 from Bud's Gun Shop, and that's not including FFL fees or anything like that. But $660, you get a really high quality base rifle. So if you want it as a base configuration rifle, 6.5 pounds, pretty much one of the lightest, cheapest, or I should say less expensive ARs out there, because $600 is not cheap. Less expensive ARs out there, one of the lightest that you can find. That's a great way to go. Or if you just want a base rifle to build your dream AR off of. Either way, I think you've made a smart decision. I think I made a smart decision. You know, imagine that, me making a smart decision. Or toot my own horn about it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. Any comments, leave them down below. And I'll talk at you later. Thanks. Me, my, Momo. Me, my, Momo. Me, my, Momo. Tip of the tongue, teeth and lips. Tip of the tongue, teeth and lips. Arsonist has oddly shaped feet. The arsonist has oddly shaped feet. Tammy's towels are totally soft. Tammy's towels are totally soft. Oh, say, can you see? AR-15's true, dude. The black rifle. That was embarrassing.